Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video will be about this full moon. Brief analysis of this full moon. What the full moon will bring to us for the next 15 days. I will not be looking at the 12 ascendants as I do usually because I will do this in a separate video when I will be analyzing for you the month of February day by day. Now I will only be looking at the full moon because I found the degrees very interesting. I will do this every month, just briefly on the full moon and what this full moon will tell us for the next 15 days. So the moon will be very powerful in the 11 degrees of Cancer. I will tell you what this means, and then the sun will be in the 11 degrees of Capricorn. So this is the axis, sidereal axis, where the full moon configuration takes place. Now this is sidereal configuration, sidereal, and as you know, this means astronomical. This means that when you look at the sky, you literally will see the moon in the 11 degrees of Cancer and the sun in the 11 degrees of Capricorn. If we look tropically, then the moon will be in the 6 degrees of Leo, and then the sun will be in the 6 degrees of Aquarius. But as you know, this is not depicting the true astronomical configuration, the real picture on the sky. So according to the fixed sidereal Babylonian zodiac, this is the situation: 11 degree on the axis of Cancer, Capricorn. Why this is so interesting, let me tell you. Of course, these two, we look at the phases of the moon as very important movements on the sky, which somehow trigger events. Of course, the moon solely is not creating the events, but the moon somehow triggers the events, participates in the events, serves like lens for the events to take place. But therefore, the two of the other phases of the moon are like the full moon or the new moon. But here I open brackets, the new moon, when the moon appears for the first time on the sky after the 3 or more days of invisibility. So these are basically two of the most important phases of the moon, which determine half of the moon cycles. So after this full moon, we look at the next 15 days until we will see the moon conjoined with the sun and then appearing for the first time after this being conjoined with the sun. So we look at the next 15 days, which are very interesting, I believe. Why? Some will say this full moon is forming what some people describe as yod configuration on the sky. Whether this is malefic or benevolent, it's hard to say. And I already learned not really easily to label things with bad or good, because they always have complex meanings, complex influences. So we should not label good or bad. Certainly, I am not sure that the ancients looked at configurations as yod, like forming this Y on the sky, because the moon is in Cancer, then you have Saturn in Aquarius, and then you have Venus, Mercury, Mars in Sagittarius, and this way you see the yod symbol on the sky. How this is looked at? Well, as something very karmic, like very important, very karmic events touched by God, will take place. Everything, of course, is part of the creation. So maybe this particular configuration is also important. Also, let me tell you about the degrees, because in the ancient astrology, we mainly look at the degrees, where specific configuration, where planets are. Every single place on the sky is occupied by a star, and therefore this degree where the star is are very important. So the moon is in the 11 degrees of Cancer, and I tell you, this is very important degree, because from there, exactly from there, the nebula of Cancer starts. What is the nebula of Cancer? The nebula of Cancer starts from this very 11 degree, continues until the 15 degree. And if you want to look at the sky and measure, you can take this, of course, will not be exact measurement, but if you're interested really to connect with the sky, you can measure 5 degrees with your fingers, like approximately 1 degree on the sky is 1 finger size, then you can see this particular nebula is Presepe code. It is in the stomach of Cancer. Nebula is configuration of many millions of stars which form something like a cloud. It's a formation which looks as if it is a cloud. Is it good? Is it bad? Again, we should not simplify things with good or bad. Certainly the nebulas have different meanings. One is, let's say somebody has nebula on the ascendant. Such people are considered to be very easy going, joyful, fast, with such easy character. The nebula is giving complex events in people's lives too. Complex, like hard to predict, hard to analyze, events with surprising, volatile, unpredictable nature, because this is nebula, full of secrecy. Nebula also gives mysticism to people who have this with the moon or on the ascendant, powerful intuition, like such people. And why I mention this, because the moon is within this nebula, and this is the moon which is determining this particular full moon for the next 15 days. So the moon in the nebula also, if we look at what such moon gives to the people in the horoscopes, it would give, yes, powerful intuition. It will give them to experience extraordinary spiritual events, esoteric events. So whether this will happen during the next 15 days, possibly, because full moon configuration is something very mighty, strong, like a portal. And then you have the sun in the 11 degrees of Capricorn. Where is this? Well, very interestingly, very near the sun in the 11 degrees of Capricorn, you have Pluto in the 6 degrees of Capricorn. As you know, Pluto already is in Siderial Capricorn, and now he is in the 6 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto and the sun form conjunction, and actually, with the help of the moon, this conjunction becomes even more prominent, important. 11 degrees of Capricorn is where you have the jaws, the jaws of the celestial goldfish, and it is when you have Capricorn, you always think about, you have power, because Capricorn, of course, is ruling naturally the 10th house of the zodiac. So we're thinking about power, we're thinking about ruling figures, we're thinking, and when you hear about the jaws, you imagine immediately speaking, it's from the mouth. And the jaws of the goldfish are not considered to be benevolent. Like people with such configuration in the horoscope usually would speak a lot, or would speak out things which the others would not like to hear, or they can be rude, or you will see them with very big jaws. Such people, they will have freely expressed very big, large teeth, or this degree will be visible on their faces. So the sun in the jaws of Capricorn with Pluto, yes, and when it is Capricorn, when it is associated with the power figures, it will be this next 15 days. You will say it's not in 15 days. Well, yes, it's not so much, but see, it's not such a long period, but see, the configuration is very interesting, and the moon is in very powerful situation. And also you see the so apologize for the interruption. We were speaking about the Joes, see, Capricorn is always the ruling in the mundane astrology horoscope. It is the ruling, powerful figures, and yes, the next 15 days will be interesting because of this formation. The moon, very powerful in her own ruling house. Cancer, and then the sun is in this particular degree. So what is this about? I look at this as a portal. When we hear a lot like the rulers, the so-called elites will be trying to promote lies because it is about the Jaws. They will try to promote new limitations, regulations. Yes, they will try. Also, see, Pluto is with the sun, but then it is very much in the hands of us, the people, to take from this only the useful, which is what, to enhance more our intuition, to become more powerful, to realize even more who we really are, because all these lies, their agenda, propaganda is exactly trying to take us off from our purpose of finding out, remembering, knowing who we really are. So this is the point with the strong moon, because the moon in mundane astrology is representing the people, and the moon is in Cancer, and the moon is very powerful. And from the nebula, we can only get strength and information, to enhance our intuition, to enhance ourselves, our presence, if you want. And on the other hand, we'll be hearing lots of new stuff, lots of lies, attempts to suppress our, if you want, growth, evolutionary growth, intuition. So it's very important that we really remain stable, strong, rely on our intuition, keep on researching who we really are through our own evolutionary process, through our own enlightenment process, if you want. And maybe this is why this iod formation is so important, because we can use this formation as an opportunity. And I like the fact that in the meantime there is harmonious trine between Jupiter and Uranus towards the three planets in Sagittarius, which are Venus, Mercury, and Mars. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was just to inform you about the next 15 days. I will be telling you more in the next video, which will be about month of February, and then you will be of course looking at each one of the days in February. You can take notes and maybe use this, because in my next video I will be telling you which days are appropriate for some new beginnings, which days would be appropriate for medical interventions or not, so that we have successful results from surgery or from new business or from activity. Or it will be also about which days not to use for certain events. So I hope this was useful for you. And also we're looking at the next video, which will be about month of February. All the best. Bye-bye.